What is Controversy Corner? Controversy Corner is the section of Logosophia magazine where people of different faith traditions discuss controversial topics in a succinct manner. If you would like to submit a topic for discussion, please let us know. Don't see your denomination represented? Help us fix that. We are always looking for new writers. Disagree with the representative on your denomination? Write in and tell us why in a respectful manner, and we'll publish it in our next magazine under Letters to the Editor and Comments. For these and any other questions, comments, or suggestions, please email us at editors.logosophia@gmail.com. Presbyterian Church in America, represented by Joshua David Ling. I am currently in the PCA and consider myself a Reformed Presbyterian. Growing up, I was part of many different Presbyterian denominations, and I find the Presbyterian understanding of church history, government, and the Bible to plainly show that the greatest understanding of Scripture rests within its denominational boundaries, the exception to this being the PCUSA of modern years. The frozen chosen is a common criticism of Calvinists, and particularly Presbyterians, and it's a legitimate criticism many times. But at the same time, I find that Presbyterians know their own faults better than many other congregations. That is one reason I continue where I am planted. If doctrine is in place, the heart may follow, or at least that is my hope. I believe what is said in the Westminster Confessions, 1646 original, with two very minor caveats that I can exposit via Scripture.
Reformed Catholic, represented by Ian Wilson. I'm Ian Wilson. To define who I am in terms of theology and practice would be challenging. I attend a Reformed Protestant church, but I pray the daily offices using the 1928 Book of Common Prayer like a traditional Anglican. I use the term Reformed Catholic to describe myself. Of course, my Roman Catholic friends would say that I'm not Catholic at all. I disagree with their employment of the term. What I mean by that is that there have been certain doctrines and practices that have historically been a part of Christianity since ancient times. I believe that these doctrines and practices are Catholic in the sense that they are universal, or they ought to be universal. Over time, the Western Church distorted those beliefs, and the goal of the Reformation was to set things right. Unfortunately, I think some reformers took it too far. I believe in many of the Reformation doctrines, like faith alone and grace alone, because I find them to be scriptural and traditional. I also believe that many of the doctrines and practices of Rome are not necessarily wrong or bad. We'll find out who is right when the time comes.
Roman Catholicism, represented by Sarah Levesque. I am a cradle Catholic. Both my parents grew up Roman Catholic, and they raised myself and my brothers in the same manner. I went to a private Catholic high school after being homeschooled through 8th grade. Now, you might think that I'm an oblivious bubble child, but my boundaries were widened gradually until college, when I was free to find my own way. I am a logical person, and I was given good schooling in reason and logic, Scripture, Catholic beliefs, and more. And I remain Catholic for many reasons, the most important one being that I have never found a Catholic doctrine that is denied by the Bible. On the contrary, every doctrine I have examined due to someone else's challenge has been rooted in Scripture, tradition, and reason. I know full well that many who profess to be Catholic don't seem to follow the full teachings of the Catholic Church, particularly people in the political sector and those highlighted by the media. But I refuse to leave something good simply because others ignore, belittle, or distort it. Therefore, I proudly remain Roman Catholic.
Though I was baptized Roman Catholic, my family joined the Eastern Catholic Church shortly afterwards. The reason was simple. The Eastern Catholic Church preserved a richness of tradition and beauty that the Roman Catholic Church had largely abandoned after the Second Vatican Council. However, we are still in communion with the Pope of Rome, and we do regard as valid the same 21 ecumenical councils, including the Second Vatican Council. And to be fair, not all Roman Catholic churches have abandoned tradition and beauty in favor of modernism. The Eastern Catholic churches are far more ethnic-based when it comes to traditions. The church I attend is mainly full of people with ancestry from Carpatho-Ruthenia, the region where Poland, Slovakia, and Ukraine all border each other. Judging from appearance, one might assume we were Orthodox. Our prayers and melodies have far more in common with their Orthodox counterparts than with their Roman Catholic ones. This is because Carpatho-Ruthenia was Orthodox until the 17th century, when some bishops from the region agreed to return to a state of communion with Rome, provided they could keep their own Slavic traditions. I myself have remained in this tradition because I have grown to love it as my home. One does not enter a church on Sundays and holidays and forget about it the rest of the time. Rather, one lives in the church constantly, and I would not want to call any other church home.